I'm Ashley from Patriot Pastures, and I'm here to show you how to debone a whole chicken. One of the questions we often get asked at the farmer's market is, how can you prepare a whole chicken that's easy, quick? What can you do with it? So one of our favorite things to do is to actually debone it and lay it flat. It's also known as spatchcocking a chicken. And when you cook it that way, it cooks a lot quicker, a lot more evenly. You don't really end up with a dry breast and then, a bunch of liquid in the bottom of the pan like you do when you cook it as a whole chicken. So I just want to show you how I do it. The way I learned how to do it is actually by watching Jacques Pepin on YouTube. So I figured I'd show you a quick tutorial. So when you look at your bird, you notice that you have the breast right here. And then on the other side is the back. So the first thing I do is I take a knife and I cut a slit down the back. Like that. So you can see. And then you'll find these wings here. There's a joint right here. So if you take your knife, you can usually find the spot where the joint is. Like right there, see how it cuts so easily. And then you'll do the same thing on the other side. That one cut really easily through the joint as well. And you kind of have to get your fingers in there. So at this point, you see where the breast is. You want to separate the breast from the bone. So ideally, you should be able to do this with just your hands, but sometimes it can be difficult. You will leave behind the tenderloin, which is behind the breast. So that's okay. That I usually cook up separate anyway for the kids. They love it. And as you can see, I'm just kind of pulling the chicken down. And believe me, when you do this, it looks like a mess and you think, wow, I am ruining this chicken. But you aren't, I promise. So when you get it down like this, you'll see the tenderloin here and the breasts are kind of down like that. And the back looks like this. Down here, this is the oyster of the chicken. It's actually a really yummy part. So what I like to do right now is kind of just cut a little bit because you're going to feel some resistance if you try to keep pushing. You just kind of do that. Keep pulling it down. As you can see, you reveal that tenderloin. You keep pulling the breast off of that tenderloin, and like that came out really clean because you didn't use a knife. And you just used your hands. And then you'll see back here, you have these tenderloins. So what I usually do is I kind of cut around them. That's them. And then you will get to the point where you actually can break off the leg. And then all you have to do is get in between there with your knife on both sides. Right there at that joint. And I promise you, you're not ruining your pasture-raised bird. It will turn out okay, even though it looks scary. So at this point, you are literally almost entirely have this chicken deboned. All you have to do is pull this breast part off, reach around back, and continue pulling. You've already made your cut at the legs. You're just attached by skin. So there you go. There's your carcass, which has the tenderloins nicely attached to the breastbone. And here is your whole chicken. The skin is completely intact. You have your two breasts, your two wings, your drumsticks and thighs and everything. And what's nice is that what I usually do is I do this a few hours before I intend to cook it. I will do this whole process. I will coat it in Diamond Crystal kosher salt, which is way better than any other kosher salt than you can get. Like, don't use Morton's. Diamond Crystal is better because you can use a lot of it. It creates a very nice crust. I will usually leave it on for up to 8 hours before I cook it. It will dry out the skin really well. So then when you go to cook it in the oven, usually I'll put it on convect if you have it, 375, 400 degrees. The skin will get super crispy. You won't have to do anything. You won't have liquid pooling in the bottom. I usually do cook it on a sheet pan with parchment paper. It's my preference. And then this is all you need to do is either you can use a knife and you can just kind of get between the bone Get these off. Use your hands as best you can too. And these are like what you can find at the store. You'll often find packages of just chicken tenderloins, and that's what those are. I usually just take that part and I'll just fry it up in a pan with some butter, and my kids will go crazy for that. So I like keeping that part separate. Another thing you could do from here is you could detach the wings and the drumsticks and cook those separately, even a different day, and just cook the breasts. But I really do recommend you leave the skin on because it's much better that way. This part, not to waste anything, I usually put it in my Instant Pot with some water, apple cider vinegar, maybe a little bit of salt, and I cook it for 90 minutes to make bone broth. So that way you can get so many different things out of just one chicken. Thanks for watching. Feel free to contact us with any questions you might have.